Yo, welcome back everyone to the HUFTCAST. Today we speak with Mathieu Ajan, who's the founder of Bounce Cinemas, which is like a pop-up cinema me and Raz have been going to for quite a while now, a few 2 or 3 years. And he's just all around just dope guy. His whole message on Bounce Cinemas, everything he does is just like so positive, and we look up to him a lot, so we were so fortunate enough to have him on the podcast today, so I hope you guys enjoy it.
We've got the king of encouraging people to pursue their creative passions right here. We've got the legend, the major filmmaking philanthropist, the man himself, the myth, the legend.
I've never been called these.
I feel like our post is
That's a bold title. That's a bold title.
Our Instagram post is like just a bad version of your posts, because your posts are like we aspire to be. We love all your stuff. Like,
it's all a journey, man.
Yeah, of course. But like for anyone,
we need to professionally intro this, because
that's what I was going to say.
It's just a crazy long backstory with this, like. Yeah. The origin story to how this came to be.
What came to be?
It's just
what's conversational.
Nuts. Like there's so many ways that this conversation, this relationship, like everything. Like I was gonna say to you, Matt, because first of all, maybe it's fair if Matt introduces.
No, you guys do your thing. Has this even started? I don't know. Has this started? When's it started?
Yeah, it starts. We just don't really like do the whole professional.
When we're
yeah. I mean.
Go for it. I'll let you guys speak, man. Do your thing.
We'll let Matt introduce himself. Who are
Wait,
you,
have we
Matt?
started? This is the recording question.
It's
recording. Wow, boy, it's happening.
Yeah, cool. It starts whenever. I think we can just kick it off whenever.
Now you got to put on like BFI London talent executive Matt on. Now you got to be like, hello.
The funny thing is, as you can tell, I'm very sporadic. Even, my emails, they either come back, 2 weeks late or 1 minute straight replies. Yeah. So, I guess a good place to start is just double checking. So is this a chat BFI network stuff? Is this a chat bounce stuff? Is it talk film in general? It's just a conversation.
It's just a chat Matt Ajan stuff. Like we want to talk about us, because we're egotists, talking about you. Bounce, Film London, BFI Network.
Cool.
Programming, your filmmaking, everything. Being a human being.
Go for it, man. That's it, the whole shebang. You got Mellow Matt today, This is the chilled 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Straight from that. But yeah, go through, man. Let's kick off, man. Any questions? I'm ready, man. Let's do it.
Cool.
Ooh. Matt, who are you?
Who am I? That's the golden question, man. That's the question that I guess everyone's seeking for themselves, but I do a couple stuff. I would say I'm a filmmaker, film enabler. I do some stuff with the BFI Network, Film London. I run a platform called Bounce Cinema. I'm an uncle, I'm a brother. Come from South London, Peckham. I like plants, I eat chickpeas. So yeah, that's like a brief introduction.
It's a great description, I think. I was going to say, Raz wanted to talk about how, last episode, I don't know, we've met a few times, Matt, but I don't know if you remember me. I'm quite quiet. I'm normally Raz's best friend.
Of course.
No,
you guys are equals, man. Come on, man. The love's there.
But last episode, we were with Ed and Warnu, and we your name popped up, and I said, you're the gift that keeps on giving. Wow. You're like, you don't understand it, but because so many things that you've sparked, or just not even, you've just flicked something and it's just created this massive thing for us. Like, we're always in gratitude.
This is special to hear.
I mean, yeah, it's so
you were the start of the butterfly effect.
The butterfly effect.
Like, it's insane. without you even knowing, like, it all let me go back here. So it all started 2 years ago when I was 16 years old at the BFI Future Film Festival. I go to this film festival every year and I get rejected every year.
Cool.
And I go anyway to like watch films and learn and talk to people like Matt. and he had one. At this time, I had a short film which is now coming to fruition. But at this time, I had this film which I'd written, and I kind of expected it to be like, cool, 15 to 20K budget, like
that's it.
This
get all
like
the money,
gonna get bare money,
commission,
gonna get like loads of people. Yeah, exactly.
Sundance,
And
whole shebang. Cool.
you never know, like it still could happen. Yeah, like but like we're like I turn up to BFI Feature Film Fest when I see like, oh, there's a thing called what's it like? Let's make money, or like let's talk about money, or like how to get money, or something like this. Yeah, and I'm like, sounds like better me still. Yeah, so
Get
I see
involved,
like
get the dosh.
Cool BFI talent executives talking about how you can get funding for your short film, and I'm like, cool. Let me. And I already kind of knew who Matt was and the other people were because Google. And I turn up there, and they're giving this talk about how you can get money for your films, and it's great. But I had two burning questions on my mind, which I wanted to answer that weekend, which were, why can't I get money if I'm under 18 from the BFI? And then how do I find a producer? Because there's no like manual on how to find a producer for your films.
No, of course.
And with other crew members and cast members, it's like, okay, there's a person or a thing or a website where you can get producers. A bit more ambiguous, yeah. So I was like, maybe they can answer it, or maybe I can find someone who'll answer it. So I'm sitting there, and in the Q&A, I put my hand up. My question doesn't get answered first. Someone else's does. And the question is, how do I find a producer? And I'm like, okay,
very common question.
Listen up, yeah. So then I see Matt, this genius, yeah. He's like, he's like, if you're in the room and you're a producer, put your hand up. And this is a decently sized room. There's quite a few people in there, sold out. And about more than half the room puts their hand up. And I'm like, okay, cool. First person I see on my left hand. Yeah. First person on my left-hand side, I just look at them. I'm like, cool, let me just talk to them after, yeah? And they put their hand up and asked a question. It was a nice question. I was like, cool, sounds like someone who knows what they're doing. Let me go and talk to them, yeah? So afterwards, I go and talk to them. And to this day, they're still my producing partner. And
wow, that's amazing. Big up your producer, man. We need to show the producers some love, man.
Big up Amy.
Big up Amy.
And then, so after that, I go inside and I'm like, I need to talk to this Matt guy. Like, I love him. Like, he's better than all of the other middle-aged white faces I'm seeing everywhere. So like, let me go and chat to him, yeah. And I go and chat to him, and I'm very impassioned. Like now I'm impassioned, but it was more erratic, so it'd be hard to imagine me more erratic than I am now.
Erratic is a good thing.
Yeah, and I was like a hyped up 16-year-old, and I was one of those kids who like introduced them as a 16-year-old because I thought it gave me extra clout. Yeah, and
of course, younger making things happen.
Yeah, so I was like, yo, Matt, I'm a 16-year-old writer director, this, and that. I gave him the whole shebang. And I'm like, why can't I get funding if I'm under 16? And then he's like, well, I can't change the rules and I can't like actually change the way it is, but I'll help you like find somewhere where you can. And send me a few links, and just became a friendly face and a friend. And one of the first friends I had in the industry.
I appreciate that, man. So I found it's making me feel quite emotional, man. I need to get the tissues ready by the side for this.
Didn't expect this. So then after this, I found that this guy has an organization called Bounce Cinema. So like I went to one of the screenings, and he's screening like periodically went to one, and then I went to a Parasite one. That was crazy.
For me, that was for my birthday.
And he done more for me. Yeah.
That was your birthday, wow.
Yeah, we went, it was a birthday gift from
and you done more for me at that event.
That was your birthday gift, yeah? Did you pay for his ticket? Raza, did you buy his ticket, yeah?
He did.
Yeah, bruv. My whole, like, cool. What, £5?
It's so sick as well. I just want to big up
the early bird tickets.
Bounce is it's so cool. Like, I love explaining it to people. It's like, it's like this pop-up cinema. It's like, it's sick. There's sometimes like directors there. Like, what was the last tree we went to? And that was such a good screening as well. That was really good. And he was there.
That was a fun one. I'm missing.
You just did the screening.
The whole cinema experience, man. When we had what just recently?
Yeah, I thought you just did it, didn't you?
Did you say
we didn't get to go? But there was.
You had one. We had a screening of Rocks. That was supposed to happen just before lockdown, and then we just done like a special socially distanced screening. But it was cool, man. Definitely, you know, you're giving me back some good memories. It feels like a lot of time has passed.
Yeah. It's just crazy. And like at every one of these, because I kind of knew, like, just from my interaction with Matt the first time, I was like, this is not just going to be like, come in, watch a film and leave. Like, there's going to be something else to it. Like, I'm going to meet like-minded people there, surely. I'm going to like see someone speak there. So me and Harvey started going to these things occasionally. And even at these events, I did not expect Matt to remember you, because you're giving talks on a regular basis. You're talking to many people, you know, like someone followed me on Twitter. Yeah, someone followed me on, said that nonchalantly, yeah. But someone followed me on Twitter in front of me, and they were like, "Oh, Matt Ajan followed you," and I was like, "Okay." I was like, this guy's got.
You guys are making me sound like super special.
Yeah,
you
guys are bigging me up, man. I appreciate it, man.
So anyway,
you guys,
we haven't even got to the big part yet. I don't even think you know about this big part yet. But
fast forward to lockdown.
He's just every time I see Matt, I mean, not expecting him to remember me, and he remembers me, not just remembering me, but he's showing love, and he's like, "Hey, meet this person and that person," and like he's really making me feel like part of a place. But for so long, I felt locked out of, and like as a kid, under 18 in this industry, or just a young person in general, along with being Muslim and brown, you feel locked out, and like there's no other way to put it really. You just feel like it's a place where you're not meant to be until you've established yourself or whatever. And I felt like this person was just breaking all the rules for me, and like somehow welcome me in, not knowing much about me at all, and just like showing me love and like support, and without even like giving me much time. It's not like you were seeing me on a weekly basis, but every time you did see me, it was bringing something
into each other quite a few times.
Yeah, exactly. And so anyway, one random night in this lockdown period, I saw Matt Ajan live, and I'm like, it's 3 a.m. right now. I should probably go to bed.
This is very rare.
Yeah. And I'm like, Matt Ajan never goes live, so let me just see. And the last time I had gone on an Instagram live, Barry Jenkins said my name. So I was like, cool.
You're on a roll. Seriously, you can't be putting me in the same category as Barry Jenkins.
No,
Barry Jenkins is the GOAT. He's the GOAT, you know.
He is the
Barry
GOAT.
Jenkins bounce Q&A screening. It's coming, man.
Yeah, word. I want to see that. Bounce.
Work in progress. Barry's watching this now. I know Barry's watching this.
He is. He's massively.
He is.
He will be.
He is. We talk about him every episode, bro. Every episode, really, one way or another, his name is there. But
we
anyway,
call him,
so
I just want to tell, we have a nickname called Goaty Goatkins, and we literally just like, it's what
Goaty Goatkins.
Yeah, wow. Goaty Goatkins.
He needs like a t-shirt that says Barry Jenkins, the Goaty Goatkins.
Oh, that's the dream.
Every single. Oh yeah, we were gonna tell you, Matt. Like, this is a really unpodcasty thing to say, but we want to do like a clothing collaboration one day. And we were gonna say like we want to do football shirts, but then we saw you already did football shirts, so we're gonna do basketball jerseys.
You put it into the universe,
into existence. Now you can't say no because it's live on there, bro.
I possibly could, but you know, I'm hoping.
Yeah, that's true. He could leave the call any second.
Yeah.
But go on.
You could be like, these guys are way too comfortable. But yeah.
No, I can't.
So anyway, go on the live. I have one of the maddest conversations with Matt, and it's like this, you know. Matt's like, "Are you gonna get me emotional? This and that." Like it's just deep. And the one thing I remember is Matt kept on saying like, "Don't talk about work," because every time I'm trying to see Matt, I'm talking about film shit, and Matt's like, "Don't talk about film, like just talk about life." And he had to say it a few times, but I did, and I was like, "Bro, there's something outside of this, you know. Like this is a means to an end, not the end itself. Film and everything else, you know."
100%. You know, life is film. You know, we watch films to discover other people's lives and learn about ourselves. So you know, film is just like, you know, the medium.
Yeah.
What matters.
And it's crazy.
Is, you know, stories.
And exactly. And so anyway, I'm thinking like, wow, and there's like 30 people watching this, and I was like, this is a mad conversation of 30 people are watching this. Like, okay, anyway, go off this. I'm about to go to bed, and 2 people followed me. One of them was called Edem, and I'm like, cool, nice, I'll deal with it in the morning. Yeah, like I'll just check these people out in the morning. And so this time, and since like year 10, my biggest inspiration in life has been like Malcolm X, Kanye West, and Dave. Dave in particular, because like when I discovered him when I was like 14 years old. I discovered him when I was 14 and he was 18, my age now. And he was like one of the biggest artists in the UK, and he was saying profound things and just breaking, like saying everything I needed to hear and everything that I was going to do. And, you know, like someone you could relate to. And I'd written a movie inspired by what he does, like he raps about, and like his situation with his brother and stuff, and just really changed my life, this guy. So anyway, I'm like, let me just go and see who this Edom guy is, yeah? So I see this DM, and this guy is showing me like mad love, and I'm like, what the, like no one speaks to me like this. Like no one is so kind.
Edom's a cool guy, man. Big up.
Yeah.
Big up Edom. It's the guy.
And then I go on this profile, and I literally, he's one of my favorite people on planet Earth, bro. But I go on his profile, and he's followed by Santander. And I literally screamed so loud, I woke up my whole house. Yeah. I was like, my heart was going boom, 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 boom. Like, I FaceTimed Harvey. It's like one of them moments, yeah, where I was like,
one of them moments.
Fuck is like,
I wish I could have seen this, you know, you should have captured this moment.
Bro. And not in a scummy, opportunistic way. Like, that's not how I mean it. But in that time period in my life, like in lockdown, me and Harvey had said, like, we're not going to go to university. We're going to start this company to make our films, and somehow within a couple of years become feature film directors like Barry Jenkins and like the people that we look up to. And it's going to happen. There's no doubt about it. And my debut feature film is going to be made by A24, and Dave's going to be in it, and he's going to compose it. And I'm going to have Daniel Kaluuya in the leading role, and I've written it for him. Sweet. And I'm not going to take any other answer for like,
Amen.
I believe it's going to happen. But I was in the dark because I didn't have any links to any of these people. I didn't know any way that it was going to happen. Yeah. I just knew that it would happen. Yeah. And suddenly I get one of Dave's close friends hitting me up, telling me he likes my stuff. And then like, I end up having a deep, impassioned conversation with Edom, and like just building up such a nice relationship with him. And it's just someone I really like hold dear to my heart now. Cause like he has like now gone on in his own way to affect me. And we've had this podcast, and then we did the podcast last month, and we recorded a clip.
I need to watch it. I'm snoozing. I haven't seen it. I need to watch it. I'm going to check it out. Man.
Thank you.
What you and Edom are saying.
See the bromance. We posted a clip from that. Yeah, bro. It's proper bromance. And then we posted a clip from that. This is the crazy part, yeah. This is where it comes full circle. We posted a clip from that on Instagram. And Edom reposted it. And Edom's friends are so great. Like, they're all liking it. And we're like, wow, this post is at 60 likes. We usually only get like 10 likes, and it's people from our college. Like, what's going on? Like, this is a good post at night. And we're seeing it, and we're like, every single person who's liking this post is followed by Dave, and they're all reposting it on their stories. So like, do you think? And then we're like, nah, not gonna happen. Yeah, leave it. Yeah. And then the next day,
I was gonna say. I was going to say, Rosa doesn't actually keep Instagram on his phone, because I try not to just go on it, because you know those unhealthy addictions of scrolling. Exactly.
Yeah, of course.
So I've just posted some clip from Coming to America, and literally the second I posted it, I was like, just get loads of notifications. I was, oh wow, it must have done really well, and then it just didn't stop. It was just like over and over and over again. And in my head, I was like, nah. And I went to check, and I looked, and I typed up like Santander, and then he put it on his story, and I was just like, I called Raza, and I know I threw it. It was just
people watching,
you know the moments.
The power of the internet.
Yeah, it's like, so it's funny because I've actually heard a similar story where Santander, when he did the song "Wanna Know" and Drake wanted to, he was with one of his guys, and they played it, and they just flipped out when they heard Drake come in. And then he was on it. And it's like, it was one of those moments where you just feel like comfortable. You're like, I can't be doing something wrong if this is what's happening. Like, so I called up. Of
course, the stars align, man. The stars align organically, man.
Word. I called up Edom, and I just said, like, I put Dave out the window, but I was like, to see like your friends who are the most supportive people I've ever seen, like, me and Raz, we get support from our close friends. There's like we have a few friends, but like every single person was like, "Yo, Edem, yes." And I said, "Yo, like, I don't understand. Like, me and Raspberry, it's just been me and him most of the time doing this stuff, and like our friends like Ibs, Sire, all them, they'll always like repost it and like, yo, you're gonna do great, like." But nothing compared to what Edem got. And I said to him, like, you need to be so grateful for that. Like, once I got a phone call today and someone called me the C word, like, just out of nowhere. Like, the hate that we get is crazy. And I said, bro, and he's like, I had no idea, like, you had that. And I was like, it means nothing, because when I see other people getting love, it makes me feel so happy. And I said, don't, like,
That's a beautiful thing, man.
it's so beautiful to see his friends just supporting him, like, on everything he does. Like, I think he did a screen like 2 days ago as well, like all his friends reposted.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, like I really love that guy, man. And he's probably listening to this, like, damn.
It's a testament. It's a testament to, to the kind of person he is. So it's, loving people tend to get love. So big up Adam.
And all of it stems from you, bro. That's the craziest thing. All of it came from that one moment.
Life goes around full circle, man. I feel like it's interesting hearing you guys speak, because you guys are inspiring the stuff that I'm doing anyway, because you've got that young, youthful energy,
Come on,
making me sound like a grandpa, but, 18, 16, I can't remember what I was doing. So it's proper, it's important the work you guys are doing, because ultimately you're building a platform for other people as well. You're showcasing Edem.
Yeah.
There's people that from your community are going to discover, the stuff that Edem does. So, don't forget to remember the stuff that you guys are doing as well.
Yeah, man. Appreciate that so much. And like, I was just thinking now, like, we talked a bit about Bounce, but like Huff Media and Bounce, they're both like independent organizations started out of a bedroom, basically. And I feel like it's with the, everyone's talking about like the death of cinema now. Like, cinema's finished. Your shitty dream making movie is done. Like, you might as well give up. Like, this whole narrative of like, even James Bond can't do well. So why would your little indie film do well? Like, this narrative now for me has become one of like, this is now a world of survivors, and the independent individual who's just got that grit, love, and determination for what they do, they're the ones who are going to still be standing at the end of it, and they're going to be holding each other's hands. And I really feel like Bounce and HUFT is like the future, like that's, I'm not saying necessarily just exclusively these two organizations, but like organizations, like
there's
these.
so many there's so many, it's a special time. That's what I like to call it. It's a special, crazy, some dark moments, some beautiful moments, people connecting, films getting pulled. It's an interesting time for the film industry. But like you said, like filmmakers, independent filmmakers especially, we're just scrappy. So, we've never been in comfortable situations.
Yeah.
So this is just another hurdle for us to get through. And it's an opportunity, Films ain't, the big blockbusters ain't in cinemas. So it's made a bit more room for the indies. So
and literally, like, I was looking at like, it almost feels to me like, obviously it was a challenge when lockdown happened, but nothing much really changed apart from the fact that I had to stay in my house. Like, you're not making films 24/7 anyway, but I feel like I was a runner on an advert, and I'm so anti being a runner, but I happened to be a runner because I was honouring an opportunity which a friend gave me on this major advert. And that's £200,000 budget for like 2 1-minute adverts, and I'm on the set of it, and I'm thinking, wow, everything here happens like someone wants something, it just happens, like it's like magic, like the way it flows.
It's the power of the moolah.
And exactly, and like everything is just like one tier is done, like next shoot is this week, and this, and like everything is just flowing. There's no roadblocks, there's no nothing. And if you are a roadblock, goodbye, like, we'll dismiss you, kind of thing. And like I just felt like, but when these people get stopped by something like coronavirus, it really must affect them. But for us, when we're having our own pandemic every single day, whether there's an actual pandemic or not, like, it's not actually as hard to deal with, I think,
Yeah. Okay. So when you say our own pandemics, you're saying just other stuff that you're dealing with in life, or?
And just like the struggle to get a movie made, like, in the first place, like breaking your back to make a short film, you know what I mean? Like, no one breaks their back. I mean, people do break their back for a short film, but like outside of the film world, people don't expect you to be breaking your back for 2 years for a short film, you know. But I'm used to
Mate,
that.
you'd be surprised, man.
So
You'd be surprised. Trust me. Making films of any kind is, it's a mad battle. Like, that's why, people that do have, the courage to go make stuff, it's not easy. But we need you to make more stuff. We're waiting for your next films. Where's the films, man?
My film's coming out next weekend.
No,
it's coming next weekend. That's what we need to hear.
Should I tell you where the films are in your inbox and they're unwatched?
In my inbox, they probably are. You know what? They probably are in my unwatched. There's to be transparent. There's probably a lot of films in my unwatched.
You're literally a professional short film watcher. That's your job. Like, I sometimes think, like, I can't even be angry at this guy for not watching my short film. I can't find it in me because this guy's like programming 2 film festivals a year, and his literally job is to watch short films and like give people money for them. Like, I'm not like, what? Why would he have time? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, your job.
It's a struggle sometimes, but
it's
on the odd occasion, sometimes the stray film does find its way, and it's always fun when it's a good one.
Yeah.
I just want to. My film's actually coming out this weekend. I think. I don't know. On the 31st of October. Halloween. My short film, which is about God, what's it about? It's about a tattoo artist from South London, and I just want to announce it on the podcast as well. But if you want to watch it, I'll send you the link and everything. But
send it. CC Raza in.
Yeah. Raz is sending you emails 24/7.
And bro, yeah, I love Matt's emails, bro. Like, I don't know if it's appropriate to put them on the screen, but the Kings are doing inappropriate shit. So like, Matt's replies are like, it's like beat poetry, bro. It's like, hello, I love it, bro. Like,
I mean, that
pales in comparison to texting Barry Jenkins. I mean, it can get a lot worse, bro. I'm telling you.
We do try.
In terms of what can get worse?
I said, inappropriateness. It can get worse.
Oh, okay, cool. It's not inappropriate, You're just being yourselves. You just gotta own it, man.
No, I said compared to texting Barry Jenkins.
One time we tried to call him as well. There's some things where we're
like, Barry?
Yeah.
How did you manage to get his number?
This is a long story, bro. It's
cool. We'll save that for another episode. Another episode.
Barry Jenkins listening to us.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, shit, they found me. No, but Barry Jenkins. Sorry, I was just going to ask. I had a question about Bounce. You know how you do it at the Genesis Cinema, right? In Marland? It's in Marland, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going to plan on like moving it around London at all, or the UK at all? Or did you just stick to like one?
It's funny enough, like Bounce has played in like lots of different venues. Like we've done some stuff in York with Aesthetica Film Festival, which is outside of London. But we've worked with lots of different venues. So we've done Rich Mix, Castle Cinema, ICA. I think Genesis is just that. Big up Genesis as well. It's just a beautiful community. Big space. Yeah. Lots of people have the opportunity to come along. But we're definitely going to move around London.
Yeah. No chance for Odeon Richmond anytime soon, bro. Odeon Richmond, bro. That's what we grew up on.
Anything goes in 2020, man. Anything goes in 2020, we'll see.
Yeah, true.
I was going to ask you, like, how do you find, because I really love how you introduce yourself as a film enabler, because we had a discussion about this once upon a time, how I said, like, when am I going to see a Mathieu Ajan film, like, which you directed? And you're like, you're already seeing Mathieu Ajan films all the time. And it's true. Because every short film which comes out of the talent, like the BFI Network Fund, is like, you've had a hand in it. So I wanted to ask, like, the BFI is like the institution for film. It's got institution in the name.
I love that title, the institution. I'm sure the BFI is smiling. They'll be smiling now. If anyone from the BFI is watching, big up yourselves. But yeah, go to.
I got to watch my tongue here, but
no, do your thing, man.
They're like, like the opposite of what HUFT and Bounce are, which is like start.
I think so.
Like Yeah, in a way, and I feel like it's so interesting that you, on the one hand, are like the Steve Jobs entrepreneur bounce, like pioneering it, and then on the other hand, you're like on the board of like the most official film shit ever, like doing that side of things. And I heard a little taste of your film business language earlier in this podcast. I didn't say anything, but you
Really,
got that in your locker as well. So
I've got it in my
like,
locker.
but
Then, you know,
you can like traverse
multifaceted, as
between
they
these.
say.
Exactly. How do you find
Mm.
doing that and those two worlds? Do they ever clash or anything?
I don't think they clash. I think, you know, I wouldn't even call the BFI, Huff, Bounce, any independent. I just call it, it's an ecosystem. You know, everything serves a purpose. And you learn lots of things from different worlds. And I guess like my inspiration is going to be where I come from, South London, Peckham, you know, in terms of like the scrappy way of living. And you know, you guys yourselves, like when you're 16 and young, there's a lot of things you have to do to hustle. Like, you know, in my day, people were selling donuts. If people wanted trainers, they had to
People are
save up
still
their
doing
lunch
that,
money.
trust me.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, history repeats itself, and, you know, it's just pulling from different worlds where necessary. I think that's the key thing. And I think it's not like you have different sides. It's just like you have like, you know, it's just like a mesh of different things that all come together. So,
Yeah, it's
you know,
so
I
true what
think
you're
it's,
saying about the
yeah.
ecosystem. It's true,
But
man.
yeah, I don't know.
And
Did
like,
I answer your question?
yeah, you
Has it
did.
ever?
And you've corrected me, like always. Because like, I guess in the way that I've come into it, I've constantly felt like a little bit of a battle. Like it's like a push and shove game, like a kind of like door slammed in your face, make your own door type, like by any means necessary type mentality. But when you look at it as like a ecosystem where everything is serving each other, and like you said, like HUFT couldn't exist without BFI, BFI couldn't exist without HUFT. Like when you look at it like that, it's a very interesting and beautiful way of looking at it, I think.
No, definitely. You know, and if we look at like very specific examples, like, okay, you came and watched The Last Tree, that was financed by the BFI. You know, when, you know, oh my days, my mind went blank for a second. But I was going to say, I forgot your name because I'm only speaking to Raza.
Oh no, yeah, it's Harvey.
It's Harvey.
Don't worry.
Harvey, I'm so cheeky. Apologies, big apologies.
It's fine. It's
But
fine.
Cool.
So look, you know, who invited Harvey to bounce? I guess it was you, Raza. I don't know who. Was it the other way around?
It was me.
But you know,
No,
everything plays together. So
no, I get that as well, and it's funny because you say that as well. Like since we've started, we've had people approach us saying like, "Yo, we want to do something like what you're doing," when really we're like, that blows our mind because we're like, we're nothing compared to like Bounce. Like that's what we want to be like.
You know, it's not. I think this is the key thing. Don't feel like you want to be like us. What you guys are doing already is special. That's the most important thing. Okay, you know, it's about what you're doing now and how can that become a better version of what you're trying to do. And then also like taking inspiration from lots of different places. So for example, it might be one place, it might be Bounce. It might be you in Pakistan at the moment. Do you get what I'm saying? Like all these different things, they all come together to create like your special thing. So it's about remembering that, like what you guys, trust me, what you guys are doing, I'm sitting here, I'm going to be inspired by this conversation. Like what time is it now? It's 9:22 on a Sunday night. You know, how often am I doing random podcasts? But he was just like, let's do an hour. So, you know, even little things like that, it's gonna influence the work that I'm doing. So yeah, man.
100. And I think that me and Harvey, our life is a Bounce quote. Like like we, as much as we're like mocking ourselves right now for being like a bad version of Bounce, like it stops at our social media, you know, like we just take a few ideas here and there, but we are so anti the idea of like, I hate it when people pitch a film like, oh, this is like Taxi Driver meets 2001 Space Odyssey. Like, those pictures where it's like people are like pitching against something which already exists. I don't like it. Like I feel like I believe that, you know, like great art is stealing and this and that, because I guess nothing is new and whatever. But at the same time, I don't think originality is dead. And someone said this to us, like filmmaking is a young medium. Like Khalid Allah, I guess that we had on before this, is a documentarian and he's one of our favorite filmmakers and people. He said to us, like, filmmaking is a really young medium. Like, how long has it been going for? Like, what, just over 100 years? And it's barely, like, look at painting, and dancing, like they've been going for eternity,
Mhm.
and they're not even done yet. So look at like film. Don't think like you have to be like a bad version of something. And it's so true. And I've never had that intention, but
Mhm.
it is important to know this, because some people can sometimes feel like, oh, I have to like fit into a niche or become something, fit into the box which the industry
Mhm.
currently has available. But make your own box, you know?
No, definitely.
I was going to
It's
jump back
important,
at
man.
what you said earlier. It's like, no one has ever lived every single day of their life the same as me, same as Roz, the same as Matt. Like everyone,
Yeah.
no one can have the same life as you. And that's why I'm not afraid of
Mhm.
competition, because there's no one like me, and there's no one like you, and there's no one like them.
Yeah.
That's why Peter's so cliche, but being yourself is the greatest way to become the best version of yourself, because you have no competition.
Definitely. It's the greatest and the most difficult. I think, it's a challenge. It's a journey for a lot of people, artists, filmmakers, storytellers. And, I feel like you can really see it in someone's work where they really found a place where they can just be themselves unapologetically.
Yeah.
Like you
There's
can watch a
something
film and
special
it's
about,
like, you can just feel it. Like it doesn't even feel like there's like a methodology to it. It's just, owning your shit. So
instinct. Like it's just almost like a natural extension of your existence as a human being. Like whatever you're making in your work, like it just flows, like it goes from your brain, your heart, your hand, and out onto the screen. Like it's like a swift motion.
I'm loving it.
Come on, man.
Loving the poetry.
Started though, and how he got the job at film. Yo, listen, interrupted our like half-time talk.
I'm shopping.
Listen,
dude, whatever's necessary, man.
I think best place to start after our half-time on Zoom is how Bounce came to be, because I don't know, I haven't checked that. I haven't done enough research, but I haven't heard you speak on any podcasts like I usually would. But it'd be really
do much
interesting.
podcasting. This is a special. This is a Raza special.
This is gonna be like this is gonna be the new trend now. Everyone's gonna be hopping on the Mathieu Ajan podcast now. Like,
see how it goes, man. We'll see. You guys can.
Yeah, we're gonna redo the HUFT logo just for this episode and make it yellow.
Wow.
The yellow and black is golden.
I'm feeling special.
I don't know how you did it, but like, there's something about the yellow and black. Like, I think it's the best color I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, nothing.
No, thank you.
Hits.
Yeah, that's a beautiful color.
Anyway,
man. I think it's definitely become one of my favorite colors.
Yeah, mustard is my favorite color, fam. I'm kind of pissed that you stole it, actually, to be honest. Like, I can't do anything with it. Anyway, what I was gonna say is, how did it all happen? Because, I mean, when you look at it, Bounce, like, you're a reference in a way. Like, we're not copying you, but like when we registered on Company's House, we were like, what companies are there like us in London? Like, let me just go check Bounce. Like, it's like that type of thing. And you're a young company, a very young company, and you've grown very fast, I think. And you have a wonderful team around you supporting you. And I feel like we're probably earlier on in that journey. But I'm really interested to know like how it all came to be, where the idea came from, what led you to actioning on it, and how it kind of spiraled out since then.
Cool. Where should I start? I feel like Bounce has like different origin stories. But I guess the foundation of it is that obviously I love films, and for me personally, I love films, but I wasn't in that film universe. So for example, like you have like film Twitter, you have a lot of people that go film festivals, you have people like you said, I was going like BFI Future Film Festival, all these different platforms and movements that are essentially designed for people to connect to film. But on my journey before that, I was making films. Like I was making films with like people like Thea Gaich, like Machi.
Big up her, fam.
Big up her. But I was working with lots of different people. Like in the early stages of my career, I was doing photography. Like in the past, I was doing events with George the Poet and some really interesting people. So I was always doing like, yeah, man, he's a legend. He's a proper safe runner. But just doing lots of different stuff. And I've always been a bit of a maker, I think. So I guess like the tipping point for where Bounce came to be was I had an agency where I was doing like cool stuff, and it was me alongside a close collaborator of mine at the moment, Ray Tyrell, so big up him as well. But we was doing like lots of boring different projects for our agency. We was doing some interesting stuff, and I had the same heart as Bounce to basically connect young people with art, or people from our community of art. So we were sitting down in the office one day, and then we were just thinking like, all these projects are taking long. We're not really, getting lots of projects in. We're not doing anything really interesting or inspiring. Like, it'd be sick if we could just like watch films together. Because I was always watching stuff on Vimeo. I was always like researching all these random different films. So we just literally booked the venue. And our first venue was actually in a WeWork office. So it wasn't like a traditional like cinema space.
Yeah.
And we had like we had two events. I think it's clear. Like, I feel like Bounce had two like different starts. We had a start where we started doing like films like Whiplash, The Lives of Others, and we was doing that in Hoxton Hotel way back. But then I feel like the birth of Bounce is when we was doing the shorts, because I feel like, watching shorts, a lot of people wasn't really doing that outside.
Yeah.
For people who were just like cool and laid back, you didn't need to be a filmmaker. You didn't need to be in the film. So when we done the first event, it was literally me, Ray, Jack, and a couple other people that was helping out. And we were just grafting, man. We were just promoting it like mad. It was snowing. Like, I remember Jack was putting in mad work. He was out in the snow, like giving out flyers. The first filmmakers we had when we done our first screening was Fia, Sebastian Till, and Savannah Leaf. And the turnout was just mad. The turnout was crazy. Right. I think like 300 people came. It was such a beautiful moment, like seeing everyone watching films together, and how supportive our community was. People just celebrating the filmmakers. So after that, I'm being so real. Like, I think different people launch things in different ways. Like, some people say like, I'm going to have this like 1 year plan, 2 year plan. This is what we're going to do. But I just really enjoyed doing the first event. So I said, fuck it. Like, let's do another one. Let's just keep it going. And if I'm being super transparent, how Bounce grew is we just didn't stop. It wasn't like, in the world of business to say Q1, Q2, like, this is going to be our plan for the year.
Yeah.
But us, was just like, it was no plan, because look, 2020 has told us like, expect the unexpected. Like, we've had like a whole virus come and, change the way the world is. So for me, I've just been, going with the flow. I can't even bullshit anyone. Like,
No, I like.
And I think that's been that's been the fun part, keeping it fun, because for me, and I think as Bounce has evolved and the journey we've gone on, we've still got so much to learn. I've got so much to learn. It's about, retaining that spirit of having fun and doing things for the right reasons. So yeah, I think that's the origin story of Bounce. We basically just love
That's
short
crazy,
films.
man.
It'll be cool for people to watch them together.
I know.
And I think like that all stems from like, you like you said, going with the flow, not having a plan A, not having a plan B, like nothing, just going. And like, when you overthink it, sometimes, like you said, you were just doing boring stuff and it was enough, but it wasn't like satisfying. And I think 100%. Like when you do that with spontaneity, like this podcast here was meant to happen at 5 p.m. UK time, 10 p.m. time here, and then Matt was having a nap, and then me and Harvey were like,
having a nap.
me and Harvey were like, okay, what do we do? I was like, I'm going to go play 2K with my cousin in Pakistan, and you go and like, I don't know, like cry or something. Yeah, and then like, then Matt calls me and he's like, yo, I was sleeping, sorry, like, do you want to do it another time? And I was like, yeah, let's reschedule like another day, because I'm doing nothing. And then Harvey's like, I have work every single day, I can't do another day. And I'm like, cool, let's do today then. And Matt's like, give me 40 minutes. And now it's 2:30 a.m. in Pakistan, and we're having a conversation, and it's one of the best conversations I've ever had in my life. Like,
that's the power of the internet, man. And just,
it's crazy,
not overcooking it. Because bet any money if we decided to do it tomorrow, it would probably got pushed back. So it's good we're doing it now.
Yeah,
you mentioned
100%.
I was gonna say, you mentioned like, and I know you keep saying like how much we love Bounce and everything, but like the first time I went to Bounce, I've never experienced such that's probably one of my favorite like cinema experiences. That and Uncut Gems, because that was just a whole roller coaster. But Bounce Cinema, it's just crazy. Like the whole time you're just in this good mood. Like no matter what the film is, you could watch the most depressing film. Your community is so sick. Like everyone's just so happy and everyone's so loving. It's like you couldn't, like, I don't know, like, I don't know, when we live in we live not far from I don't really live too far from Richmond, so like, you go to a cinema in Richmond, you've just got all these like entitled people. Do you know what I mean? And then like, I don't know, something about Bounce is just so much love. I love it so much. And then like everything is like just perfect. It's like a perfect cinema.
And Bounce like hits like the sweet spot, because in Richmond, if you go to like Odeon, it's just shit. It's like you're watching like Shazam or like
You got to pick
Justice League, and there's like
I haven't even seen Shazam. I haven't seen Shazam or Justice League. So
and then and
I do like
don't
it a
watch
lot.
them. I haven't seen them either.
I like Shazam. I'm not gonna lie.
Like, and then you've got like 13-year-olds in the back going like doing up like commentary, and it's just crazy. Or you want to watch like a nice art house independent film, you go to the Curzon, and it's just like loads of old white people who give you funny looks. So you can't win. Like, you can't win. Like, so Bounce like open up this whole new like avenue, like exactly what you aim for it to do. It did. Like young people who look, sound, and feel like me, and we're all just connecting and feeling the experience of cinema and becoming friends, and like positive energy like flows through the building. Like, that's what I love.
I appreciate it, man. And you know, it sounds super cheesy, but again, like the community is what Bounce is. Like, I don't, you know, it's not about, you know, what we're doing and all this like structures of an organization. When it comes down to it, it's just like-minded people coming together to watch cinema. So, you know, if people are saying Bounce is sick, it's, you know, you guys are, you know, meeting people, connecting, you know, bigging us up. You should be, I promise you, you know, if Bounce gets publicists, then you guys are going to be our publicists, because you probably, you know, big up Bounce more than I do. So.
Come on,
but we appreciate it a lot, man.
The big ups are going to go even bigger when Harvey's debut feature film, which we're shooting in December in Australia, gets a Bounce premiere.
Sick.
But we'll speak about that later.
Yeah, we'll speak about that one. The merch deals and the premieres.
Got a few meetings to.
couple things on the agenda.
Couple Shoreditch coffee days here and there, but here's what it is. I wanted to also talk about your job at BFI and Film London, and like you said, it's part of the ecosystem, but I guess it's a little bit more like highbrow than like the conversation that we had here.
Like, it's not highbrow, man. Trust me, it's chill. You can ask what you like. It's, you know, do your thing, man.
I'll take your word for it, man.
It's a safe space.
But like, same thing with Bounce. Like, obviously you're doing Bounce, and how in the midst of all of this did that come to you, and what was the decision-making process like when you have that offer on the table and you're like, how did it make you feel? Like, it's just, I want to know.
Do you know what I feel? You know, I always say it's a journey, but I feel things just happen organically, to be honest. I was at a chapter, I was doing, you know, stuff with Bounce and doing stuff personally. And, you know, big up, you know, Jordan McGarry, who's the manager of my team at Film London as well. You know, she shared the opportunity with me. She sent me an email about the job opening. And, you know, I thought, let me look into this. And it was a chapter where my background, like I hadn't worked for like a film company before. I hadn't really worked for many companies. So when I saw like the job spec, I thought, cool, you know, let me just put application and see what happens. We had the conversation, had the meeting, had the interview. And then here I am. Like, it wasn't super premeditated. I think, and that's the key thing. I think that's how I genuinely work, to be honest. I think, you know, if something is going to be for you, I think certain stars are just going to align, and you're going to have to make that decision whether you want to go for it or not, because opportunities are going to be coming every day. Some of them will be right, some of them will be wrong, but I don't think there's necessarily a wrong opportunity. I think ultimately, you know, whatever life throws at you, you just have to make it work for yourself. I think that's the golden thing, because, you know, something's going to come knocking every day. But with the BFI network, Film London thing, honestly speaking, I think I've been there for I think it's coming up for 2 years now. And it's a testimony to like the team and the energy of the team why I'm still there, because my personality, sometimes I'm an artist, like I come from a creative background. So for me to be in an environment, I have to generally be enjoying it. And I have to definitely say, like, the stuff that BFI network is doing and the stuff that we're trying to do, you know, it's going to be super important for, you know, all these filmmakers that are trying to make some cool shit. So
yeah, it's just out of this world, man. Like, you're like the epitome of like the guy like riding the opportunity wave, like, and just being like literally like letting the sea take you. Like, I think a lot of people, they're like I saw this thing. I think it's a David Bowie video you posted on Bounce, and it said like you got to stand like on the edge where like your feet are just about touching, maybe not touching the ground, and that's where the best stuff happens. If you're standing like close to the water and you're knee high, nothing's ever gonna happen. But I feel like you've literally like gone with the riptide and gone out to sea, like and you don't even know if you're ever coming back.
It's cool to hear because trust me, you know, just like every human, there's many opportunities I've definitely snoozed on, and I think that's the key thing. You're going to snooze on some opportunities. You're going to grab some opportunities by both hands, and you know you can't have everything. And again, not everything is for you. So, you know, some opportunities I've definitely dived head in, but there's definitely some stuff that's just like shit. Like how did I snooze on that? How did I let that slip? But I think you know everything definitely happens for a reason, man.
Yeah, so much stuff that's happened with
maybe
us. I was just going to say, so much stuff that's happened with us.
That's the Zoom talking over. That happens every time, bro.
Go for it.
We like, so before lockdown, you know, we had 2 or 3 short films in the making and 1 in development, or 2 in development. And so we were going to bang out like 5 short films this year. HUFT Media was going to be huge, blah, blah, blah. And then next year, we'll focus on short films when it comes, feature films when it comes to it. It's like, we didn't get into university. So me and Raza applied. Raza applied for 2. I applied for 1. I wanted to go to NYU, and that was it. If I didn't go to NYU, I'm not going to uni. Raza did NYU and USC. I went to USC. We went to look at USC when we were in. We went to California, and then we went to Washington just for a film festival, Nifty Film Festival.
You guys are living a dream. Trust me. 16.
Come on, man.
That's 16, 17, 18. Just out here in California, you know. Do you know what I mean? I don't think I had even traveled by that age. I only went gone.
It was sick. That trip was like one of my favorite times because I wasn't actually meant to go because I couldn't afford it. And then like Raza's dad somehow got me like a discount on the flight because he flies a lot.
Big up Raza's dad, man.
Yeah, big up Tarek.
Come on, man. That's what happens when you actually listen to your Pakistani parents and become a doctor, lawyer, engineer, fam.
So we had all these plans to make these films this year, and it was going to be sick before we went to uni, and then we could go 4 years and just like focus on studying. I was a bit skeptical. I was like, I don't know how I feel about uni, you know, because I don't know if I want to spend 4 years of my life listening to other creatives. Because the one thing I had at college, it's like my teacher was telling me my film was shit and Raz's film was shit. It's like, and I was like, but who are you to tell me what good or bad? When I'm not saying I'm better than him or he's better than me, but I'm like, we're in the same position. He's still a filmmaker and I'm still a filmmaker. But in his eyes, he's a filmmaker and I'm an aspiring filmmaker, which to me is pissed me off. And I was like, I can't be dealing with this for 4 more years. So I kind of didn't tell Raz I wasn't going to go to university. And then we didn't get in. And then we're like, okay, cool. And I was like, I just started HUFT Media and I was like, I really like this. I want to do a podcast later on. I want to do this. I want to do that. And then Raza just jumped on board, became the co-founder. And now we're making a feature because we have nothing else to do.
Sick.
It's those sort of things where like,
it's a sick thing to do.
It's like all these things didn't happen for a reason for us to go to that end goal, which is going to be bigger than all the other things we imagined before that. And there's I don't know if there's a film that Raza made called Menace Avenue. And in that film, he says his dad is about how his dad wanted to get this Audi TT and instead he got the Porsche instead. So we always say it's that the Audi TT Porsches. You're looking for something so good, and then the better thing is right around the corner.
Flex.
Yeah, low flex.
No, of course.
But that's how like.
It's the immigrant hustle.
But when you say like don't have a plan, it's like no plan. It's so true because you just have no idea what's gonna be around the corner. Like, you have no idea, and I'm so grateful for all the opportunities.
You know, and it's a balance
as well. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It is a balance. It's a true balance.
It's a balance, man, because you know everyone works in different ways, and I think you know, and it's something I'm learning more. Like, okay, cool. Sometimes I can be Mr. No Plan. Sometimes go with the flow, but sometimes you do need that, you know, because I'm guessing like you and Raza have different personality traits, which helps, you know, helps the work that you do. So you know, it's gonna, you know, there's gonna be time there's gonna be no plan, but then sometimes you're gonna need, okay, plan what we actually doing. And it's just about keeping that balance. And I think people plan in different ways. Like I keep a lot of things in my head. So, you know, sometimes it might be useful just to write shit down, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just about keeping that healthy balance, because no plan has been useful sometimes and no plan has been
Yeah, no, it's the plan B that's never
some
useful though.
interesting paths. Yeah.
It's the plan B that's never
And I
useful.
think like also the key point is like that whether the plan works or it fails, failure is just based on perception. So if your perception is okay always, like you're ready to accept what is perceived as failure. Like when we were going through this university process, I was fully aware that there was a high chance I wouldn't get into these universities. And I did not give two shits because I was fully prepared to go out there and do it myself. Like whatever happened, I was ready to go with it. So when you have that mentality of like, oh, but no plan is good and sometimes it's bad, like as long as you're okay with that, like you're ready, you have the responsibility within you to like deal with whatever it throws at you, then you're good. It's the fear which kills people. It's the fear of not just the failure, but of how you're going to look and all this stuff. Like that's what kills people. I wouldn't be rambling at 2:30 in the morning in Pakistan if I cared about how I looked. Looking at how I look now.
I wouldn't have my hair tied up. I wouldn't have.
Come on, man.
I didn't know.
Fresh. You're looking fresh, man.
I'm looking like a stale egg. No, but it is true. It's true because it's that's what I was saying to my mom actually earlier today. Like me and Rose always say this thing: I'd rather lose on my own terms than win on someone else's, because at the end, you judge your own success. You can judge it on whatever you like. It just depends on where your mentality's at as well. Because I'm going to judge my success on not just happiness, but like, you know, am I doing what I always want to do, or am I ahead of what I wanted to do? You can't really, as well, like this whole success thing. Because when I say I know I'm going to be successful because of where my mentality's at, other people look at success with their own desires, so they think I'm saying, "Oh, you want all the money." No. I don't care about the money. Hopefully, the money will just align itself. I'll be able to afford to, you know, live. But what I care about is doing what I want to do, rather than being told what to do and living a sad life. And the thing is, as well, I can fail so many times. I might not get a job. I might not get that big business plan. I might not get the collaboration with Bounce Clothing. You know, we'll speak about that later. But there's so many things that can happen. Neither of those things ever mean I fail, because you could always, like, if you're at the bottom, the only way is up. Like, it's cliche as hell, but like,
no, of course,
you can't fail. You've got like in the facilities we have, like I can't fail. I've got everything, and I'm so grateful for everything I've been given. How can I fail? Well, because I didn't make the film. The film didn't get billions of pounds in the box office. No, I've succeeded by making a film.
Yeah, the gratitude is the key part. Like out here in Pakistan, like you see a next level, like it's a next level scale of like what is winning and losing. Do you know what I mean? Like out here, it's life or death. Like people cross the road to get a bit of money, and they like, I've seen people like almost get hit by a car just to be begging in the middle of the road. Like just the crazy stuff out here. It's next level. So the idea of like being from the suburbs in Southwest London, winning or losing doesn't mean anything. Do you know what I mean?
No, definitely.
Because just being in our level of privilege in London, at least we can speak for ourselves. Like there's a certain level where, like, I think we can take more risks than we sometimes think we can. You know. But yeah, man. I wanted to speak a little bit. Maybe to close off. I don't know. But like with Film London, your job is to answer questions a lot of the time. People always come to you with questions. And I think I can imagine sometimes a lot of people may use you as like this guy who's like the means to my film getting funded. Like, you know, this Mathieu man. and
I'm interested where this question is going to head, but go for it. Hit me.
And I feel like you probably always get like this like this entitled mentality I think a lot of people have nowadays, and it's not just in the film industry, but it's everywhere. Like people are so like concerned with themselves nowadays. I feel like when people are coming to you and saying, how can I get money for this film and how do I this and that, like I feel like maybe you're used to a certain type of tone which people would not expect you to be used to with certain people. And I'm just curious to see like what your experiences have been like, not saying you to like name names or experiences in particular, but what trends do you notice with people's attitudes towards you as like, and what sort of door you can open for them, because it's a big one.
I think, even when I think about this question, I think it's got, two key elements. Like the first one, it's okay to ask questions. Like it's better to ask the question rather than, you have to shoot your shot. Like there's people, people on DM shooting shots, there's people on email shooting shots, and it's a hustle.
That's us, man.
It's a hustle. So I look at it this way, and it's about being super transparent. Of course, different people at different levels in the industry are going to get so many inquiries. So I look at it this way, like the fact that people can come to me and drop me an email and ask questions, it's a bit of a blessing. And of course, my answer might not always be the answer they want to receive, because that comes with the territory of the job. But if there is a way I can, help people in small ways, and I'm human as well, sometimes I might not be able to get back to everyone, but I do try my best, where possible, to get back to people. And I think it's just about people being more strategic when they do ask questions. And I always say this, busy people don't have a lot of time. So keep your questions short, sweet, and concise. And you're just going to increase your chances of getting the reply you want. But also, I think people respect people that, make an effort as well and do some research. So for example, like, Raza, you was talking about, you're looking for a producer, it's different. Someone say, can you just connect me with a producer? But someone might say, I'm looking for a producer. I've been to this event. I went to BFI Feature Film Festival. I went to Bounce. I'm really struggling to find a producer. I've looked at all the short films that I love, and I've reached out to all the directors and the producers who made those films, and I haven't been able to find anything. Have you got any tips? So, I think the average person will probably be inspired by the fact that you've made an effort already, and now you're just like another avenue that you're coming by. But do you know what? I don't think people are entitled. I think people are just struggling. It's tough. How many places are there out there to get film funding? And this is the key thing. Like, I'm not like some 60-year-old man that's been in the industry for ages. I'm still on my journey. So I think I do try my best to emphasize. And of course, sometimes it is challenging when you're spinning my plates. But the second part is like, the idea of people opening doors for people. I don't know how much I believe in that. I think there's definitely like some really, really, really interesting people in our industry that have definitely been like pivotal to my career as well. And I believe that when it comes down to it, like people are already on their journey. I think people just make it a bit easier for them. So for example, like there's not someone in this industry that can make your film for you. Ultimately, like you guys said already, you're gonna go make this feature. You said you want to make merch. Whether you make a bounce or not, it's gonna get made either way.
Yeah, no doubt.
Precisely, 100%. So I think the challenges start to come when you sit around and you wait for people to open that door for you.
Yeah.
I think, and this is me speaking from experience. Like when I probably could have launched Bounce like 2 years before I launched it. When you start, thinking, okay, what parts of the jigsaw do I need to actually, make this happen? But more time, like people just like to overcomplicate things. Yes, pitch your stuff, speak to all like the broadcasters, come speak to us at the BFI, hit up Bounce. When it comes down to it, you want to make your film. I know it sounds super cheesy, but a lot of people have everything they need already. So I don't know. I don't believe, of course, like I'm not trying to downplay like the power of like, knowing the right people. But when it comes down to it, like you need to have your shit together for when someone's ready to open that door for you. So
what you're talking about right now is, I mean, like I think like this all the time. Like a lot of people I hear like who are outside of where I'm at, they're like, outside looking in, they're like, oh yeah, but it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. Or like, this person got lucky, they knew this person, like, like you said, everybody's got opportunities flying at them left, right, and center. Whether you're, a 6-year-old in Gaza or you're, an 18-year-old in Richmond, like may not be the same, but in nature, but
Yeah, of course.
there are opportunities everywhere.
No, definitely.
And you have to see them, and like I'm here. This is crazy. I'm here in Pakistan in a rural like city, and my middle class Pakistani cousin here, who's just lost his father. He's a 17-year-old kid. He wants to be a writer director like me. Yeah. And he's started his journey as a result of seeing what I'm doing. Like he's been doing it for a couple of years now. And he's been making YouTube videos, and now he's gone through the same process as me, where he wants to go from making YouTube videos to making real films. And his set of challenges is so different, because now he's at a year where, like, in a few months he has to apply to university. And just before his father passed away, he admitted to him, I want to be a filmmaker. And his father said, that's okay. Yeah. But for so long he was battling against that, like engineering, this and that thing. And it still is a battle for him. But now he's got the option of like, okay, cool, I have to go to a film school. Like that's the safest option for me in Pakistan, because I can't do what Ras and Harvey is doing in Pakistan and start my own company and be my own, like, I've got different expectations. So having to have that conversation with him, and I found him the best film school in Pakistan, National College of Arts, happens to be the best art school in Asia. And the fees is like nothing compared to what it is in the UK and America. And suddenly we're developing this idea, this plan. I know we don't like plans, but for some people they need them. And
I ain't got nothing against plans, trust me. It's just everyone works differently.
This vision of like, how can we actually feasibly make you into the step where me and Harvey are at, where Mathieu Ajan is, where Barry Jenkins is, like, and you'd say like, some people where we're from, they'd be like, all the odds are stacked against him. It's never going to happen. But I swear to God, like suddenly when you try and open your eyes and look in your locality, how can it feasibly actually happen? You look for those moments where the door, like, you know, you could be nearby to the door when it does open.
No, definitely.
When you start,
and
and it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
It's bonkers. And of course it's like, you know, even in what I'm saying, it's not even downplaying that, you know, not everyone, you know, comes out the room with equal access to seeing what's possible, because there's so many things that, you know, even in my job that I've learned that I didn't have a clue about before. But I think it's just about, you know, finding the best way to just develop that curiosity and just start looking outside for other stuff. Like for me, like you just talked about this film school in Pakistan, like I ain't got a clue about it. So, you know, I could go out there and do some research and, you know, discover some Pakistani filmmakers. It's just about just staying curious, man. I think things just get stale and boring when we just don't start looking outside of our you know, our existing networks or nets or just watching all the same things.
Exactly.
So,
like when I was in college, when I was in secondary school, this was like alien, this world of like bounce and stuff like that. But then suddenly when I stepped into it, it's like suddenly like when you open yourself up, everything comes to you. You're like a magnet. A human is like a magnet, you know?
No,
if you're
definitely
hiding away, nothing ever comes to you. But if you suddenly open yourself up, point yourself in the right direction, suddenly it starts like flooding to you.
No, definitely. 100%.
I definitely felt that. But yeah, man.
What an episode this has been. 100%.
Yeah, what an episode.
Like,
and Raza, you've got my Sunday. You got the Sunday, Matt. This is the Sunday chilled. Woke up from a nap.
Love you. Big up, Matt. Big up, Matt. 10 times.
2 a.m. is ratchet, Matt. 2 a.m. is ratchet, Matt.
It's crazy. I've written the thanks list for my short film in the credits, and you're number one. Just a heads up. So like,
cheers, man.
That's the least, bro. Like,
I'll be coming
for the future. I pray that God's gonna give us all the blessings. 10%. Fam, definitely.
10% from the
like,
box
this
office.
Is just the beginning, man. Yeah, you can get that bounce 50%. I don't care, bro. Like whatever it is, man. Like I just love like this situation, how it's happening now. It's a testament. Like what we've been talking about is actualized by the circumstances with which this has occurred. And it's just love, it's power, it's blessings, bro. And it's just so great to be able to talk to people like you guys. I'm so grateful, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys, you know, even thinking of having me. You know, I don't know if this is probably one of my podcast debuts, so you know, I'm super honored for it to be on the amazing HUFT medium with Harvey and Raza, the legends.
Love. It is going to be one of the iconics back in the future. People are like, oh, Mathieu Ajan did a
Yeah.
podcast in that.
People are gonna when they see like the Bounce premiere of my feature film, and they hear A24, Daniel Kaluuya, Dave, they're gonna be like, whoa.
Where'd this come from?
Man?
No, yeah.
Looking forward to it,
Cool,
man.
Yeah, thank you
Come
so
on.
much.
2 years.
Man. Yeah.
2 years.
No sweat, man.
It's done, man. Done deal.
Yeah. Be back in 2
Love, man.
years.
Cool. Come on.
Sweet.
And we'll cross paths at some random filmmaking event before then.
No,
Yeah.
definitely. When we're
Thank
back in
you
the real
so
world.
much. Yeah, thank you so much, man.
Everybody, oh wait, Matt, plug your socials quickly.
Do you know what? I'm going to plug my socials, but I'm the most useless person on social media at the moment. But you can hit me up on Mathieu Ajan. I'm not sure how sick these graphics. You know, you guys have got like a graphics team that are going to be
Yeah.
No, we
mad
don't.
Now we do.
transitions, like
We do.
it's going to come. It's going to come. But yeah, Bounce Cinemas, all of that. You know, I think that's it.
That's it.
Love, man.
We'll put it all in there,
Love.
Cool.
all over.
Now
Thank
we
you so
crossfade
much.
out.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cool,
Cross
man.
fade. Peace. Take
Bye.
it easy,
See you,
man.
man.
You too. Bye bye.
See you. Sleep well.
Cool. Take care, man.
See you, man.
See you.
This-
Hit that leave button.
Do you know what's so funny? This is the end in the part where no one says that.
Just cut out way too talking.
He's like, this is the ending part when no one says back.
That was good, man.
So sick. Do you like it?
Yeah.
That was so good, bro. This part is definitely staying in the podcast, bro.
What's the time now?
It is 3:02 in the morning.
That's
3:02.
That's calm.
3:02. Man's out here. My whole family's probably awake and heard that conversation.
They probably
They're
got on
like,
there like,
what's going on, bro?
jeez, man. Let's talk about bouncing. What are you
Was I
bouncing
being
on? Huh?
loud? I loved how like we were all interrupting each other, and it was like we were embracing the unconventionalness of Zoom. Like it was so inconvenient, but it was cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we did not give a shit.
And I liked how we established that I look like a dried up egg with the bloody hair tie. The whole time I was thinking, I was like, I look like such a stale egg. People listening, if you're still listening to this, make sure you get other people to listen to this. We're really going out. Man said,
And if you're
Russell
famous, if you're
Pakistan-
Barry Jenkins, if you're Barry Jenkins or the Safdie brothers and you're listening to this, or any other like person that we talk about, or if you're Dave listening to this, or if you're like, I don't know, Kanye West, like hit us up. Like don't be a ghost, man.
Don't be
Because I know
shy.
some of you are ghosts. Like some of my biggest inspirations is definitely listening to this right now. They're just not saying anything. So we sound like, this is the thing, yeah. The cost of being a great artist, of being a visionary, is that you sound crazy because you're always talking in the future tense.
Mm.
Like I heard Kanye West say that. He tweeted this. Yeah, he said like, "My memories are in the future." Yeah, and this is exactly how I think. Man. But it means I sound crazy. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm
No, I
constantly
get it,
talking
though.
about A24 and Dave and Daniel Kaluuya, I don't talk about the past. I just talk about like what's in my head has already happened, but no one else knows has happened yet.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, these guys are psychopaths. Why are they talking to Benny Safdie who's listening to this? He's not listening to this. I don't care, bro. Because like I'm constantly actualizing. Alhamdulillah, God is actualizing it for me. Crazy, man. Powers.
Yeah, we're really going out for these podcasts as well. Man said Raz is in Pakistan and we still banged out our podcast, and probably one of the best
Yeah.
podcasts.
We turned it around. Like it was all cancelled. It was finished. It was done. Yeah. We were talking about just waiting till I get back in like 10 days. And then we were like, Matt Ajan was like 40 minutes. Let's do it. Do you know what I mean?
Coming back in 10 days?
This can be like the outro.
You got clips to
like,
make, bro.
You know,
got-
like with the music in the background.
Yeah. You're coming back in 10
This is the
days?
outro part.
Raza?
No, not 10. I just couldn't count. I just wasn't bothered to count.
Good. Yeah, you got
Friday.
You got clips to make here, bro. When you get back, you got,
Yeah.
got a lot of
I'm a
clips to
slave
make.
to the system. We're talking about how oh yeah, be an entrepreneur, you'll stop being a slave to the system. Now I'm just a slave to Harvey, fam.
Yeah, I'm your boss. Let's remember that. I'm your boss.
Cool, I'm doing now.
Yeah,
I'm
I said
gonna go
that.
sleep, man. See you, man.
See you, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna mention on the podcast, but like my stomach's going downhill, man. I feel like a bulldozer's gone through my intestines.
What is that?
So yeah, I said I feel like a bulldozer's gone through
Yeah,
my
but why?
intestines. Like the first few days, I was like, food calm, not getting the shit. I'm not white, like I'm good. Yeah. Now it's just coming. It's like you walked too soon, bro.
Have you drunk the water there or something? He says as he downs a glass of tap water.
I think when I'm done with it, I accidentally might have drank some.
Oh god. Okay. Anyway.
Okay. Anyway.
See you when you
Cool.
get back.
Love, man.
Love,
See
bro.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Damn. That was probably one of my favorite episodes. I say it every time we do a podcast, but that was definitely one of my favorite episodes. You can just tell how cool of a guy Mathieu Ajan is. So you just do yourself a favor and follow him on social. Follow Bounce Cinemas. Like if you're not new to HUFT Media, if you know that HUFT Media, we're always posting stuff on our story about them. They're so good. Whether you're a filmmaker, you're an artist, Bounce Cinemas is the one to follow because they're just always putting out positive energy to all creatives. I really love Mathieu Ajan. Like, such a cool guy. Bounce Cinemas, perfect for you if you're an artist. So follow him, follow Bounce Cinemas. Yeah, that's it from us. We'll see you next month on HUFTCAST.